Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's been a couple weeks since I've been live. It's been busy. So it's fun to be back, and what a way to come back from vacation, right? Come back, and we have Chuck Pinson with us, right? What a way to come back from vacation. Love it. So I said I'm going to pop in and I'm going to say hi real quick to some people. And Maritza's here. I'm going to let Maritza in just a second. So we'll say hello, and then we'll get going because it's going to be pretty exciting. So um, let's see who is here. I'm going to say hello real quick. I'm going to say hi to Angela and Mutna and Garden Craft. Hi, Judy. Paula's here and Gail. Who else is here? Lizetta is here. Joe. Hi, Joe. Hello, Brenda. Hello, Gammy. Angie's here. Hey, Angie. Marion, Tina, Camila, Lawrence is here. Hello, everybody. Patty, hi. Gina, Renee, Molly's here. Jennifer, Sherilyn. Hello, Catherine. Hello, Sue and Anita, Katya, Carol. There's a bunch of you guys here. Megan and Bonnie, Judy, Nikki's here. Hello. All right, I hit the bottom of the comments. Look at that. Ooh, I'm at the bottom. Yay. All right. So first of all, let's add Maritza real quick. Can you hear us, Maritza?
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just great.
Am I echoing?
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay, I'll peep in and out now and then. Do this. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
I love this series. I think at least half of them I want to start.
I don't know. I hear something. I don't know what I hear though.
Oh, wait a second. I got the TV on.
Okay. I was like, I'm hearing something.
I don't see the comments.
Who else has just joined? Jody's here. Mandy, Lucretia's here. April, hello. Dawn's here. Sherry's here. Hi. Allison, Linda.
Hi, everyone.
There. Now we don't hear the TV. You got it. Awesome. Lawrence says we want to see your cute face, Maritza. She'll pop in. See, she pops in. All right. So we're super excited. I love having Chuck come on and talk to us. It is so awesome, and shares his artwork and stuff. So he asked me earlier about a couple paintings, wondered if he had already talked about those. And I said no. So he's going to talk about a couple paintings, and those are both already diamond paintings with Diamond Art Club. And then he's got a couple new ones. So we haven't seen the new stuff, right? It's always fun to see the brand new stuff that nobody's seen. So super excited to see that. So that's kind of the plan for the evening. Of course, you can ask him questions, and
in the dark here.
He's always, it is a little dark. Always willing to answer questions and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have him come on in and we'll get started. So here we go. Hello, how are you?
Hello, Mandy. Good to be here with you. And Maritza, how you doing?
So my first question is, how's your weather there?
It's wonderful. Well, last week it was really freezing cold, but yeah, today we were outside at my daughter's soccer game, and it was about 75 degrees.
Nice.
Wonderful. So it's time to get outside, right?
Yeah. I'll give you one guess what's happening here right now. Just
you're way up north, right?
Yep.
So hopefully it's not snowing. I really hope it's not snowing.
It is. It's snowing. Yep. So it's been rainy most of the day. And just about an hour ago, I looked out the window and I was like, oh, that's really pretty. Those are really pretty snowflakes. We don't need them, but they're pretty,
That's why I live in the South in
Georgia, right?
Because, it's a mild winter here and it's still cold to me. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, we were just in Texas for a little over a week visiting family and stuff like that. And it was like in the 50s, maybe 60. And they were like, it's cold. And we're like, this is kind of nice. It's kind of nice for us. So anyhow, so I know that you have two
It's been
paintings
raining here today.
right, I know. It started out as rain and then it just turned over. It got a little colder, so it turned over to these big fluffy snowflakes. So I know two of the paintings you're going to talk about are already Diamond Art Club diamond paintings, and one of them I'm super excited to hear you talk about because it's the one I'm doing. So that will be exciting. So I am doing the lake, the one at the lake. What is it? Freedom at the Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm working on that one. So I'm super excited to hear you talk about that one. So
All
I'm
right.
excited to hear all of them. But
Okay. Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, yeah, it's hard for me to keep
I'm
up
going
with
to
what
work on my
they
painting.
release, so. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, it's
I'm
hard for me to
sorry.
keep
I'm
up.
going to work on my painting. I have post COVID.
Oh, are you sick?
Oh no.
It's a delay somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get winded easily when I talk too much. So I'm going to be quiet, look out for questions, and work on my diamond
Okay.
painting and listen to you guys most of the time.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. All right. So.
Okay. Okay. Are we ready to look at them? I guess.
Yeah. Show us what you got.
Yeah, it's hard for me to keep up with what they release and when they release it and all that. So
Yeah,
I don't always know what you've seen and what you haven't seen yet. But I'll be
There we go. No, we don't want that.
looking forward to showing you some of these and talking about them a little bit. And the first one I have for you today is.
Sorry, I'm messing with this. I'm trying to get you to be bigger than.
Okay.
I know there's other ways to do this. How do I do this? No, that's not what I want. Trying to get yours to be large. You large and us small. How do I do that?
Oh, look at that.
I know, that is beautiful. Okay, it's still not doing it. I don't want me to be the forefront. That's not what I want. Well, darn, I can't figure out how to do it. That is not what I wanted. I don't want that either. Darn. Anybody out there know which button I'm supposed to push here? All right. Well, I can't figure it out. Okay. Go ahead, and if I have somebody pop in that knows how to do this better.
We'll go. Keep experimenting with it while I'm going, and if something
sounds good.
out, it'll be fine.
Sounds good.
I'll try to zoom in a little bit. This webcam I have is a little shaky, and I'll try to show you what I can. But let me back out here a little bit. This kind of gives you an overall view. This is called A Perfect Day at the Beach, and I was just, I think I envisioned this one sort of during the heart of the lockdowns of COVID. And, I was just like, I just need to get to an emerald sea and sit by the beach. And that wasn't going to happen, obviously, because most of that's in the Caribbean and we couldn't go out of the country and all that. But, what I pictured with this one was just all the little things that would be fun, that would be relaxing, stress-free kind of a day. I picture a breeze and just sitting in one of these chairs with, different colored umbrellas and just the waves, the little tiny waves rolling in and kids having fun and different things to do on the beach. And I've never seen a garden this close to the beach, but I wanted to put these flowers in here and incorporate sort of the tropical garden idea into the idea of the tropical beach. And maybe they have that at the 5-star resort somewhere. I have not been to a 5-star resort in my life. Maybe one of these days, if I'm lucky enough. But
I did it. Look at that.
Yeah, that's good.
It's all you now.
let me zoom back out just a little bit so you can see this kind of the overall view again.
Oh, wow.
And
pretty.
There's a lot of details going on within it, and sometimes I don't know with the diamond art how much with their design, how much some of the detail gets cut out, the little things that I put in that are going on. But I'll show you some of those, and just in case they weren't able to get those in there. So yeah, as I move in closer, I like the idea of doing a lot of shells here along the beach and
Oh yeah.
along the trail, and the turtle over here is almost like a sandcastle turtle kind of thing. I watched this show where they were building different kind of sand structures and sandcastles, and that really kind of sparked my imagination for putting that in a painting, and putting a sandcastle in the perfect little picnic basket with drinks all ready to go. And then my daughter was very happy that I put her in this painting. Here.
Aww.
Some little friend, I don't know who
That's
this could be, but yeah, so she was happy to find that. Of course, she was happier to find the dolphins here, and she wanted to make sure that I mentioned that dolphins are her favorite animal now.
Oh.
So yeah, so she wanted me to mention the dolphins, and I guess I find putting the little sea creatures in there something that really makes a painting come alive, and
Yeah.
the life of it, just to me it stands out more. So that's a fun thing to do. When I painted this, we had never ridden a banana boat before when I painted this, but after I painted the banana boat in there, that's when we actually go to North Myrtle Beach, because that's where my family can meet us up there. And it does not look like this, by the way. If you've been there before, the water is much darker and murkier, but hey, it's a beach and it's got sand, and you get out there and relax. But they do have a banana boat, and this past summer was the first summer we were able to take the plunge, and my daughter got to ride on there. And my wife keeps wanting me to do the parasailing.
Parasail. Oh yeah.
I prefer to keep 2 feet on the ground most of the time. So he's trying to drag me on roller coasters at Six Flags, and
Oh yeah.
I watch her go usually.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing that.
So, but it was just fun to get some more colors, in the painting that way, and something to liven up the sky more.
Yeah.
And let's see what else about this painting. One of the things that I really wanted to do on this one was put the parrots, focus on the tropical birds, and so I did several of those, some on this side over here, and then some on the left side, a little bit larger, and sort of do some portraits of these parrots. And one of the things that inspired me to do that was when I was growing up, one of my friends, even from elementary on, even till today, he raised tropical birds in his house. He had cockatoos and cockatiels and parakeets and all these different things. So I'd go over there and just be amazed at him raising these birds. And I guess we were friends now. Now looking back, I'm just kind of wondering if we were friends, because he was kind of into art as well, though not this kind of art. He's actually a composer. His name's Rodney Money, and he's had many works published and gone around the world with them. So I guess that's what we had in common, was sort of a love for nature and a love for the arts, you might say. So yeah, so I have to attribute putting the birds in there to him, and I'll have to let him know one of these days. I've never actually even told him. But one of the things I like to do is just put a lot of variety. So the chairs, I like to have some chairs that are similar, and then do some variety with the different colors in the chairs, so that it, just to me just brings it to life a little bit more, to not have it all be the same. And I think that's. So look at this. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I was going to tell you about it. Do you have any questions about it or comment?
I just like how you can include things from your life in them, like the banana boat and your daughter out there in the water and things like that. So it's personal to you as well. So
it is
pretty cool.
It is, and
a lot of those. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
A lot of those little details that you just pointed out do turn out in their diamond paintings.
Okay.
I haven't worked on that one, but when we get to the next one, like the lake one, I don't know if you're doing that next, but when we get to the lake and I've worked on that one and seen it up close, we can kind of see if there's anything that was really missing from their rendering versus your artwork, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
they could try to get a lot of it in there.
That's great to hear that's coming through, because again, it's always hard to know with the size of the drills and how they design it on how much will actually work. But my wife and I, we've been on a couple cruises over the course of this is our 20-year anniversary this year. So
congratulations.
We've been on a cruise when we first got married, and then we went on a cruise for our 10-year, and both of those were to the Caribbean. And so we saw a couple of beaches like this, not with the foreground, but the color of the water if you've been there. And it's just beautiful and wonderful. And so if you ever get a chance to head down there, do it, because they got some pretty places.
I'm sure.
So, let me head to the next one then. You guys are ready?
Yeah, I always love how the flowers turn out. The flowers always turn out really, really good in the diamond paintings.
Yeah, I hope they're able to capture, recreate some of the color, because that's where I get a lot of the color to come through in the paintings, is putting.
I mean, they really do. Like some of the flowers that I worked on already on this one, I mean, they have like 5, 6, 7 different shades of the the main color, so they get a lot of variation and stuff.
Okay, yeah, so that's what I try to do when for example, this, I would say this would be an azalea here. I try to put just different shades of the pinks and the reds in there as I'm going, because that's, to me, what sets the painting out a little bit more and gives you more texture and depth to it. So I'm hoping it sounds like they are able to give you some different colors to work with.
Yeah, they do.
Give you that variation a little bit more. That's great.
I think there's 400 and some colors, 440, something like that. So you get quite a few different shades of oranges and different shades, lots of greens. So they do turn out pretty. They do a nice job.
They do, and when they have a lot of detail, they make them really big.
Yes. Yep.
All right, let's go to the next one then.
Yeah, what size is that? What size is your canvas?
Well, the original paintings, I've been really focused on this 24 by 32 size. I do a lot of
24 by 32.
And the reason I've been doing that size, it scales to like an 18 by 24 well. It scales up to a 30 by 40 if you're blowing them up for different things like a canvas or whatever you want to do. But it gives me enough surface area to be able to get the fine details with my little, I pulled out one of my little fine brushes.
Yeah.
So if I want to go and do something on, tiny on one of the animals, little ducks or something. Mm-hmm. It being large like this helps me to get in there and really do the feathers better and do the, even the ripples in the water better and those kinds of things. If it were smaller, it's just really hard to get detail.
Oh, yeah, sure. There. Like this painting as a diamond painting is 27.6 inches by 36.6 inches. Mm-hmm. It's almost the same size as what you've painted.
Okay, yeah. So that would be right around the size of the original. It sounds like they've blown it up just a little bit, which is fine with me, and that sounds great.
Yeah.
As long as they're able to, get you guys the colors that you need and recreate some of this detail. Also, the larger canvases, I think, give it more of a grand feel if you put it on your wall or.
Oh yeah.
You once you get done, to me, the bigger it is, the better I feel about them.
Yeah.
When I get done with them.
Yeah.
I'm getting some glare on this. I don't know why, but I'll zoom in and tell you a little bit more about it here in a minute. this one, Freedom at the Lake, I named this one particularly just because, I was not thrilled with the, some of the rules during the lockdowns. And I guess, looking back now, I know everybody's got a different opinion, but I'm not sure there was a difference between some areas versus others in terms of, what the outcome was, whether the rules were stricter or not. But anyway, I don't like to be caged up personally, and I don't like to be fenced in. And so I was like thinking, I was dreaming of, freedom,
Right.
as an American virtue. And I was thinking of the lake as being a place where that happens. And, being outdoors, of course, even when you got a disease going around, that's one of the safer places to be in anyway. So
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was picturing a town by the lake, and just being able to get out and walk and those kinds of things. So what I did was, this is another one where I put my daughter in this one as well.
Oh, that's cute.
And this is based on my wife, and this is based on me. So
That's you guys.
that's one of the only paintings that's one of the only times I think I've ever put us in a painting before. And I was telling my wife and my daughter about that, showing them that, and they were like, "No, we want to be over here on the ski boat. don't let that be us. We want to be over here." So apparently I put them in the wrong place.
Oh, well. I think you look good over there.
So anyway, my daughter has gotten into dogs lately, and I grew up with a yellow lab. And so I put yellow labs sometimes in paintings once in a while, but I like the lab breed a lot.
Yeah.
So I got a yellow one and a black one there, and then the little puppies coming into the boat here.
Oh, I didn't even notice the
How
puppy.
cute.
Do I have a puppy? Okay, you know what? My boat, I have the boat done. My boat does not have a puppy.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that's what I was kind of wondering if they took some of that.
So that one, we know that one now. Oh, wait. No, I don't think it has a puppy. Wait, it kind of does. It does. Oh, it does. I see two black eyes and a black nose. That is a puppy there. It's very simple. It's not very detailed. Like, there's not a lot of white. Like, he has white on his nose and on his paws. This one doesn't really have that. It's really just like a face. It's a very simple face. It's like 12 drills or something, but they tried. I mean, there's a representation. We'll call it that.
Okay, well, it's good that they at least
Yeah.
try to put that in there. And I know, there's a limitation with the
Yeah.
medium of it being the diamond
Right.
drills, so it's hard to get those in there. And so some of the larger ones I think would come through better. But I wanted to show you these anyways, even if they don't come through on yours particularly. But I've got a cat here, and I know this is coming out a little fuzzy because my webcam's not picking up all the detail right there. But maybe that's the mama dog. Who knows?
Yeah.
Cat and duck over here. And when I was young and we didn't travel a whole lot, but when we went to the beach or something, a lot of times the place we would stay might have some bikes like this, kind of the old style.
Oh, yeah, ride around the lake.
Yeah, so we like to ride bikes, so that seems fun. And then I put actually a fishing pole coming down behind the bicycle right there, and this is the bobber kind of sticking down right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where got the fish coming up over here on this side if you want to try to catch them, I guess.
Yeah, when I started putting drills down on that one, I was like, what is this? Because it's a whole different thing when we're up close to it, putting down individual drills,
Mm-hmm.
And you can't really tell what they are sometimes until you're actually like finished with it. Like, I just made like those ducks that are up by the front of the boat. There's like 2 ducks in front of the boat. I didn't really know I was making those. Yeah, I didn't know those 4 ducks right there. I didn't know I was making those ducks until I was done. And I was like, oh, they're ducks. So those 4 ducks are in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's actually a ton of ducks in here.
Yeah.
I kind of went crazy with the ducks on this one.
You know,
I don't know what I was, maybe I was just into ducks when I was thinking of this one or something.
well, we raise ducks. We have 15 ducks. And so I was just like, oh, look at all the duckies. Look at the duckies.
There's a few flying up here
No.
as well. And my grandfather used to, and this is my grandfather on my mother's side, he didn't live long enough to see me in my life, so I never met him. But he used to go duck hunting, and I found all of his decoys and all the different things he used to use to go duck hunting. Me personally, I look at a duck and I have no desire to kill any living animal, just because I see the beauty of the design and the engineering that went into them, and I'm just more appreciative of the art and of thinking of them as being coming from our creator, and just appreciating that design that's within them. And so to me, I can kill insects because
they bite you in.
I hate bees and I hate most other bugs. Butterflies are all right. But anyway, I did put a few more ducks up here flying in the V pattern, and I'm not sure how that would be with the diamond art with some of these smaller.
Well, they're in there. They are there. They're definitely there. I mean, they're going to be, well, yours are kind of just like some of them are like a little shadow kind of, and that's what they kind of look like here as well.
Right.
And they have some that are larger, like the other ones that are bigger and stuff. Yeah. So they have those in there. They really have a lot of the details. And that bigger duck over here, he's in there.
Okay.
Those ducks there are in here too.
Well, I'm glad that came through.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I wanted just to give the feel of overall Americana. And I mean, I suppose it could be another country as well, but it's kind of small town America. You get out away from the towns away from the cities, and maybe it's there's this could be the Appalachians, or it could be, I suppose it could be even out west.
Well, I don't know where it's at, but I picture myself in that house.
Which one?
In that house.
Which one are you after?
The first one with all the cobblestone and stuff, and all the flowers. Yeah, I want to live there.
Yeah,
I could live there.
Yeah, I would settle for any of them.
It's so pretty. And stones, like the stones and stuff, even on the walkway, and those are fun to do in diamond painting. They're a blast. They turn out really good, and they're fun to do. So
that's great. Well,
I got a couple questions for you. One is, have you diamond painted?
Okay. Well, first off, I'm ashamed to admit I have not diamond painted, but I do have a good excuse, and that's because I'm so busy painting with.
You're too busy painting. We get it.
Yeah, and though I have given one set to my mom, and I think she's worked on it some. I'm not sure if she's got them done, but she has done some, and then.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I've given a couple to a friend or two who have done them, but. I think I would probably like doing it. It's just when I'm so much into creating new ones.
Yeah.
I spend all my time with a brush in hand, I guess.
Yeah. And then somebody else has asked, I know we've asked this before too, calendars. Any plans for calendar?
Well, that's a great question. I used to do a calendar with the company called Mead, and I think they got bought out by Echo Brands, and I did a calendar with them from, I don't know if it was 2011, 2012, 2013, somewhere around there, until I think we ended around 2018 or 2019. And one of the reasons was I wasn't able to keep up with the number of paintings that were required for a calendar, because I put so much into each painting. So, if I'm painting a little one, it's different than if I'm putting so much into this. And I guess you could cut this up and make it 2 or 3 images per calendar maybe. But I haven't done that. and maybe I will get back into it. I have considered that, but it's one thing. It's just a challenge from the every year perspective of having enough winters and having enough
Right.
spring and fall, and getting all the seasons in there. And now that I've got several more paintings than I had when I first started with them, there probably wouldn't be as much pressure to produce so many more new ones.
Right. And I mean, a lot of us didn't get in on the calendar thing. You could take any of your images that you already have and just say, hey, here's a calendar. Let's pick 12, you know?
Sure.
So,
Yeah, and that is something to consider, and it's maybe a way I could, share more of the art with, a wider audience too. So
yeah.
it's something I may do more of in the future if the right opportunity presents
That
itself.
would be cool.
So
I know that there are puzzles. There's quite a few puzzles.
Yeah, there are quite a few puzzles out there, and that's another place that people have really enjoyed my work is in the puzzle space.
Oh, that's a good question. Which painting did you struggle with the most to finish? And which one was the easiest to complete?
Okay, that is a hard question because
I'm sure.
now are we talking overall or recently? Because that
No, I don't. Anything that pops into your memory. How's
okay,
that?
let me think for a second. I've had paintings that it's usually not the whole painting that's the problem. It's usually one area that's not working, if that makes sense. So, it could be, the sky is not looking right, and I just can't get it to look right, or it's, sometimes it's just some area in the painting, particularly that really throws you for a loop. But I would say I spent the most time and had the most frustrations on some of my very early work that some of it's probably not even out in terms of on my website or maybe not online anymore. But I can't pick one in particularly out that just was the bane of my existence, except maybe the ones that have the cities that have all the little lines that have to be straight. Like I did I did two that had Italy in them in terms of recent years that had just a whole ton of buildings with the windows and all those little straight lines are really difficult. I mean, these houses, they have some straight lines like the windows and stuff.
Mhm.
You can see keeping your lines straight with oil paint is it's hard to do because you come back and then you're trying to paint what's in behind the window. Let me zoom in on this a little bit. You're trying to paint what's in behind the colors and not have it be monochromatic behind the window in terms of what looking into the house. So getting all those lines to be straight is just really can be a nightmare.
Yeah.
And particularly on those Italy ones, they were because of how many buildings that were in those paintings.
Well, don't feel too bad because our drills that we put down on most of these are square little pieces of plastic, and guess what? We have to have those straight too. So
yeah, I guess what do they have? They have the square and the round, or they only do squares for mine? I don't know.
Yes, it seems that most of the larger ones though are squares. So yeah, I know somebody. I've been asked this a couple times. Painting with a train.
I would love to do a train sometime. I keep thinking, where can I put a train in? And that's come to me recently as just an idea. And so I'm thinking of doing a train. I can't recall that I've ever done a train to date. So it might be nice.
Interesting.
One in there.
Like I can see like in Country Blessings, there being a train off in the background going through or something. But
yeah, that would be a great idea, really. So I'm always, thinking about what would be new, what would be different, something different than I've, what I've done before. And so, I like that idea. So I'm gonna write that down, and the next time I do one that's got the perfect place for a train, whoever said that, maybe you can look for the next one that's got a train in it.
Put a train in there.
Okay. So I'll take this one down and move to one of the next ones. I do not know if you guys have seen any of these or if they've come out in Diamond Art. I have sent them to Diamond Art Club, so they may have already come out with them. These may not be brand new to you. It's just what I have done and what's available for me to be able to show to you. So I'm going to put this
Wow.
here.
Oh, hello.
That's beautiful.
Let me give you
Lindsay, I quit. I'm not a host anymore.
Oh, wow.
I'm a participant.
Okay. Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I have a thing for lighthouses. That's like, and that house. Oh my goodness, that house. There's an eagle. There are deer. Oh my goodness, there's a pelican out in the water. What do you got out back? A horse?
Yeah, let me
Oh, you got horses, more than one.
let's see.
Oh,
Since we're going,
wow.
bring it down here where you can see some of these.
Oh, fire. Oh my goodness. Mm. Can you buy a painting, Joanna? I bet you he has some for sale.
There is a website.
Yeah.
Let's see if I find it.
Well, if you're one of the people, and I don't know if you've told them about Mindy, if you've told them about that I was going to give away an 18 by 24 canvas to.
Yes, sir. They know.
That's why I quit
That's
hosting.
So if this one's your favorite and whoever wins it, let me know and I'll.
I choose that one. I'm a participant now.
Oh, so you can actually get this one in a canvas?
Yes, I try to make all of my newish ones. Some of the old ones I don't always make all of them available, but really, if someone contacts me, I can get it made. I can get it done.
I'm telling you what, if they don't come out with this one soon or the teal lighthouse one very soon, I might be just buying me a painting. Wow.
Yeah, this one I call this one Providence by the Sea. Providence by the Sea, and I just wanted to incorporate a different type of beach landscape than what you would typically think of in terms of the southeast or something. So I was thinking northeast, northwest, maybe even Alaska, who knows, that kind of landscape area. And then I was just thinking, what kind of place would I like to live? And I know there's some of these shows on TV. We used to like to watch these Alaska homestead shows. If y'all have ever seen those.
How about Maine Cabin Builders?
Maine Cabin, there you go. Yeah. So I've seen some of those, but yeah, I just love the idea of sort of this homestead by the sea.
Yeah.
Raising some horses, but I've just gotten to where I'm putting a lot of deer in paintings these days because I find them just to be very elegant and
they are
peaceful animals. In general, I guess the males can be a little aggressive at times, but overall they're just peaceful animals, and we live in a suburb of Atlanta, and we get deer in our backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Creek that runs way back there, and they come up there, and it's just every time one ever comes up there, it's just always mesmerizing to watch them.
Yeah, we get deer coming through our yard all the time, and I just love to sit there and watch them. I'm like, oh, here they come. It's awesome.
Yeah, one thing I like to do in paintings too is, I always like to find where I would like to be sitting, where I'd like to be.
Right there on that log, huh?
Right. So set up the log here, and you'll find that sometimes in my paintings is I just like to find a place where am I entering the painting, or where can you come into it, or where can you see it and sit and enjoy this sunset as it would be peeking over the trees there. And
I can't decide where I'd be. I'd either want to be on that porch watching everything, or I'd be over there playing with the horses.
But yeah, we are hopefully planning. we're sort of tentatively planning a trip towards going to the Olympic National Park in Washington State sometime soon. So I'd like to do that and see the ocean out there on the West Coast, on the northwest side, and maybe even get up to Alaska and see some of that, because I've heard it's just really beautiful.
That would be gorgeous.
Would be inspirational to me to be able to do that.
Yeah, Berta is on our chat. Berta lives up there in Alaska.
I was just about to mention her.
I know, right? And we have a group of friends that are taking a trip. They're taking their RVs and they're driving through Canada and all the way up to Alaska. They're going to be gone for like 3 months or something. That sounds like so much fun, doesn't it?
Wow. I wish I could take off that much time to do it.
Right? I know. Yeah, they're all retired, and
And I've heard people say, I've always kind of wondered, is it better to do a cruise? Because I've heard you can see
right.
Glacier Bay National Park up there. You can see from the cruise, but then other people say if you drive, you can see so much more of the country, the beautiful landscapes as well. So I'm not sure what the right answer is, but personally, I would love to do both one of these days.
Yeah.
Maybe try the cruise first, I assume.
Mm-hmm. That is, I need that in my life somehow, some way.
This one was really tough speaking of the stones you were talking about a little while ago, but
yeah.
The stones on this lighthouse, really, someone asked about problematic, or what give you a lot of trouble. I think the stones on this took forever to paint, just all those little intricacies. And I don't like to do just a solid color on the stone. I like to do something that's got colors going in each stone, and then the mortar between them. And when it gets in the background like that, it's just using a lot of this little brush and trying to change colors, because mixing the color for each of those and then keeping it wet is just.
And then you have light reflection on some of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is. What I was trying to do here was the light coming from the sunset there, kind of shining through, peeking through the trees, and ended up kind of hitting the lighthouse there on the side a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
And then reflecting some of the light from the window back towards the bottom of the lighthouse there. And
that's the stuff that makes them look so great. I mean,
a little bit more. Yeah, it's also the stuff that takes the most amount of time, is adding all those little things that sort of you don't always notice at first. My wife will say sometimes, and she used to say this a lot, is she would tell me it looks done, and I'd say, oh no, it's got a long ways to go, and I'd work on it for many more days, and then she'd say, yeah, I don't know what you did, but it looks better. So it's one of those things where you can go in and you can do the little things, and it just makes it look.
I'm not sure what you did to it, but it looks better now.
So
this one was called Providence by the Sea. Somebody just asked that. Providence by the Sea. You planning to win, Sherilyn? You want to order your print? Is that you need the name of it, right?
And it's not on my website yet. Technically, I just haven't put up some of the stuff yet. It's the brand new, because we don't always get around to it, right when I get them out. But we usually put them up there, sometimes during the summer when we have more time, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do that with this one and the next one I'll show you. But, yeah.
So Fine Art America has your paintings.
Yes.
And they have it as wall art or stationery or coffee mugs and things like that as well.
Yes, correct. Yeah, Fine Art America is a place I use as they're sort of a way to outsource that gives, they make most of the money, to be honest with you, but
they
take care of a lot of the details that it's hard as an artist to be able to do and keep painting new paintings. So they'll print, on different, if you want it on paper, you want it on metal, you want it on wood, they print on that. They do shower curtains and bags, and they do all these different kind of products that would just kind of be impossible for an artist to do
Correct.
without partnering with all the different companies who might make that and stuff.
Yeah.
So that is a way I found that it's just a good way to be able to share the art with more people.
Yeah. It's
And
a cool way for people to get like some, like, the teal. I'm looking at the Teal Lighthouse, which is sunrise by the sea. But, if you wanted to get it on stationery, or you wanted to get it as a phone case, they have those options, or even a coffee mug. It's just another way that you could get artwork.
and the artist, there's so many artists on there. The artist can click what is going to be available as a product for that particular image. And
Okay.
by the way, so if anybody ever wants something that I haven't clicked or whatever, just let me know and I'll be glad to
Oh, that's cool.
enable that feature so that you can get it what you want.
Like, I want that as a blanket.
Right. They've got pillows, they got blankets, they got all kinds of
Yeah. But
So-
you do make some money, but they,
Yeah, it's definitely. They give the artists. I would say something that's pretty fair. And the artists, to be fair to them, the artists can set their own price.
Okay.
So the artist on that site comes in and let's say their base price is $100 for the print or the canvas or whatever it is, and then if you say as an artist you want to make $20 or you want to make $30 or some artists want to make $100 or whatever. Okay, well you can set that price and that's what you'll make, and that just ends up to the end customer's price being added to the base price plus what they've asked. Now, I've always one of the things that really got me into painting too was I just always wanted my art to be affordable, and I never really. I mean, every artist dreams of you're going to sell paintings for millions of dollars or whatever it may be. But for me, I always was, the art that I liked when I was growing up and when I was a teenager and in my 20s and stuff, it was always outside my price range. It was never something I could afford. And that always frustrated me. And I always said if I ever was able to be a professional artist, that I just wanted to have things where someone could have something that enjoy the art as it was meant to be enjoyed, and not be thousands of dollars to do so.
And your prints on your website are reasonable, very reasonable. And you have like a 5-pack, or is that what I remember? There's 5.
Yeah. Well, I was doing that, and I had to discontinue doing the paper prints so much because it was getting to be, unfortunately, I hate to say, for me, it was getting to be too much of keeping up with what I had in stock, what I didn't have, and just the managing. Because if one goes out, then inevitably somebody would want the ones I didn't have,
right? And
then it's just trying to keep everything there. So just as a matter of simplifying life, I had to say, usually most people I found actually wanted more of, they wanted a specific 1 or 2 more than, a whole pack of 10 or however many. Of course, with a calendar, you'd be able to get a lot more.
Yeah.
We'd
get 12.
Right. So that's something to think about. But, this was just a decision I had to make to simplify life and to be able to keep painting new paintings. And be able to keep being creative, because that's really what you get into it for if you're an artist. You don't get into it to have to manage all the little stuff that really can kind of make your life miserable in a way if you're not.
So I'm curious how accurate they are. Like, I'm just looking through their site, and this is like Winter's Oasis. Mm-hmm. You could buy the original. You still have that original?
On Fine Art America.
Yeah.
I've been wondering about what they're showing, because a lot of those little ones have sold in terms of originals. I've sold about probably in the neighborhood of half of my originals, but most of the ones that I sold were the little ones, and some of the larger ones, in fact, I took off as they shouldn't even be for sale, just because I I got to a point where, well, it's kind of hard to explain, but I just am at a point where I don't really want to sell all my originals,
Got it. Right.
and I'd like to hold on to those. And maybe one day, if it's in the right venue for the right place, then there's only one original of a painting,
Mm-hmm.
so it's one of those that I just didn't want to regret selling it. And I won't say I regret selling some of the little ones because it really helped me get going when I was over the years. It really was a boost. But I plan to. I would like to sell. I will sell some of the smaller ones, but most of the larger ones, I'm hoping to be able to keep on hold of for longer now.
So I mean, now people can get prints, they can get the canvas and those kinds of things. So
right.
Well, that one's gorgeous.
Well, we can move on to the next one if you guys are ready.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. Let me set this here. And I'm sorry that the webcam is a bit shaky with.
Oh, you're doing just fine. It looks.
Just I've got it on a stand, and it's a weighted stand, and waves around a little bit. Okay, so let's put this one up here.
Oh, it looks fall.
Oh.
Breathe, Maritza, breathe.
I'm telling you, who do I email the spreadsheet to?
You don't want that job anymore?
I'm a participant.
Look at the rainbow in that. That is pretty.
Oh, the mountains.
There you
I
go.
can see some 414 AB in there.
Yeah. Who was it? I think it was Jenny said that the fall ones just give her all the feels.
Yes, that was her.
Yeah, it was Jenny. Wow. Yeah, so that's true, Mandy. Most of these paintings, it just makes you want to just be there, right? I could just be there. I could live there. I could stay there. Look at that buck. That's a nice buck.
Yeah. So I was telling you, I'm into I
You're
got into painting more deer lately, and so the families of deer have come out in some of these paintings, and wanted to do one of these with the buck coming up forward, and some of these coming into the background, drinking from this clear water, and then I don't know if you can see the fish.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Trying to paint the water as transparent. That's something that gets to be challenging with oil paint. Is probably paint in general is just trying to get transparent water where you can see through to the bottom, yet also have some reflection. These trees reflecting. And
look at your smoke from your fires going right across the water. That's cool.
So I call this painting Almost Heaven.
Oh, there you go.
And I wanted to, I kind of wanted to call it, you guys know that I'm a spiritual person. I'm a Christian person. And so I wanted to call it Meeting with the Maker. And I wanted to, for me, it was picturing, where would you like to meet God? If you could meet God face to face and talk to him face to face. And if Jesus would meet you, where would it be? And so I was thinking, these two stumps here, wouldn't it be amazing to sit right there and Jesus be on the other side? And I don't know if any of you in your group have seen the movie The Shack. I guess it was a popular book as well. But that movie, I don't read a lot of those kind of books. I tend to read nonfiction or something like that. But I like the movie with that story a lot. And this painting kind of reminded me a little bit what I was going for with this painting. Kind of reminded me, because if you don't know the story in the end, I won't give it all away, but he sort of, one of the main characters sort of meets with the Trinity, I guess, God, the Holy Spirit, and Jesus, sort of at a cabin that's by a lake. It doesn't look like this in the movie, but that's one of the premises that's within the movie, so you can see what would God really say to you versus sometimes in our world, in our culture, it's kind of like we have so many thousands of misconceptions, and I don't know that any of us have could even fully comprehend God. So, just the idea that you would be able to have your questions answered and sit somewhere so beautiful and by clear waters and all this kind of stuff. So that was my idea with what I was going for, just kind of almost, nature's cathedral, or kind of a spiritual cathedral of the mountain being.
It's kind of interesting when you first flipped that over. Somebody in chat, I think it was Lynn, said he just took us to heaven.
That's really when I paint, when I have a vision for a painting, a lot of times that's what I'm thinking of. Is I'm thinking of paradise, I'm thinking of heaven, I'm thinking of what would it really be like. And I know we can never imagine it even and comprehend it, and I certainly couldn't put it on a canvas, but to me this is the type of vision that comes to mind, and I really wanted to convey that. So I put a lot of extra time in this one, just trying to get the mountain perfect, and trying to this rainbow was pretty challenging here that's coming right there, trying to keep it transparent and coming down to over the screen.
And it is, because you can see things behind it.
So that, and then I also wanted to kind of reflect it in this cloud up here, almost like mirroring it, or having that be repeated in the painting a bit in the sky. So that was the idea behind it. But we got some fishing poles and a picnic basket. One of the things also about this painting that I wanted to mention was, I really kind of like a lot of things about the Native American art and sort of the way they integrated art into their culture. And I think so, like with the blankets and kind of things they had. So I kind of wanted to pull a little bit of that. I was thinking of that. I tried to get some design here on a blanket, putting like some of the eagle themes, motifs with them. So that's really hard to see, and I'm sure that wouldn't pick up in a diamond art piece. But the canoe, I don't know that they made canoes exactly this way, but
it looks good to me.
That's kind of what I was, I was appreciating the, just the handworking and the craftsmanship that would go into Native American canoeing and what they might have done back in the Wild West and all that time, all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to capture that and include that in the theme of this painting. And I've got a couple books here. It's showing up.
Got a little canteen.
Canteen's ready for you, and you're just ready to sit by the fire and enjoy the day, take it all in.
So, just curious, how long ago did you finish this one? How long has this one been finished?
Okay, this one, well, believe it or not, this one, I went yesterday to kind of where I keep my originals, a cabinet I've got them in, and I went to pull this one out, and I realized it wasn't in there. And then I realized it was at the scanner, that, the place that scans these, it gives me the digital file that I'm able to share with the companies that, end up producing the different products. And so I realized earlier today I had to drive down into downtown Atlanta to get this one just to be able to get it back. Now, they've had it for a while, and I should have gone and picked it up months ago, but I think I finished this in the fall of this past year, 2022. So finished it and got it done. And I did share it with a company or two. I think I did send it to Diamond Art Club already. So
that's kind of where I was going to go with that. Next question, like if you finish them, how long does it take before you've submitted things to companies to produce?
That's a good question. And it depends on the time. I used to just sort of send the one out when I got it done. now I'm sort of on a pace of I'll do 2 or 3 at a time, and I'll train them around, and I'm sort of working on different ones so I don't get overwhelmed or get tired of working on the same one all the time. Plus, it's good to let it dry in between the layers.
Yeah.
And so I've gotten to where I'll do about 3 at a time, and then I'll get those scanned. I'll get the scans back, and then I usually share them pretty quickly with the companies that I work with. And then, certain companies want to take everything I do, and certain ones are very selective, and they'll take something and, leave the rest. And so that's fine, whatever they want to do. But yeah, it just varies, and different companies have different schedules. So, I might send them a file, and it might be a year before you see it come out.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's a lead time between the production and what
I'm thinking like last year, I know that you showed Country Blessing and there were a couple others. I think 2 of the ones that we saw last time are now diamond paintings. And I think the Alpine and the Sunset one have not been diamond paintings yet. So I'm assuming that group you probably submitted all at the same time.
It is possible. And I know I don't know their process on how they select what they're going to do, but I do know, I think there may be some pacing that's going on in terms of, when things come out, just because when we first did the deal, I had just, I had a big library that they could choose from and work with. And then as some of those have come out, a lot more of those have come out, then in terms of newer work, I work slower than the pace that they were releasing them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there may be some that they're planning to release. It's just, probably good in terms of, it not being like, okay, they released what they had, and now it's wait 6 months until I get the next 2 done.
Yeah.
So
they have access to all of your work, correct?
Yes, they do have access to all of it, and they haven't really explained to me their process, and that's fine with me. It's just that's their choice. And usually when you work as an artist, when you work with companies and you're partnering with them, it's a lot of trust just goes into it. Of they got to do what's right for them.
Yeah,
they got to make a lot of those decisions, and hoping and trusting that they know what will be best for their business and what will be best for the customer in the end, and hopefully will work out for the artist as well. So everybody wins, hopefully, in the end. But whether every decision is the right decision, I couldn't say.
Yeah.
Anyways, so this is what I have for you guys tonight. And one more thing I would say about this one is I grew up really admiring the Hudson River school painters, and I know that's kind of like who are they for some people. That's like who's the Hudson River school painters, but that was a group that was known back in the 19th century, I suppose some of the 18th century, maybe even, of doing sort of the big grand Western landscapes. Albert Bierstadt is a famous artist who used to do big, huge mountains of the Rocky Mountains and having the deer come down to the water. So his work and Hudson River school painters really influenced me to want to do a scene like this too. And I wanted to do it my way though, just incorporating the way that I paint and the colors that I typically use and the types of things that I like to include in painting. So they had their style and their way of doing it, and I tried to take some influence from them and then make it my own and see it with my vision. And so this is what came to me.
Does DAC get final approval before they print? I don't know if they do.
From me, they don't. They sort of have free reign to run with
Carte
it.
blanche.
Yeah, so I don't even know when they're releasing anything or the next thing. So
Yeah.
your guess is as good as mine on, when things come out or how it's going to look when it comes out.
Right. Well, I mean, it's nice to know, looking at the originals now and seeing what I have in front of me, they're pretty close. I mean, they really are pretty close. They don't miss a lot. Some of the smaller details might be just kind of almost like a shadow, or but they try to put them in there. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that, at least that's from what I've heard and what I understand, being sort of not knowing all the intricate differences between how one company makes them versus another company makes them. But I have heard that Diamond Art Club has seemed to do a good job on the rendering that they come out with, and what your final experience is with it. And that's what matters to me, is I want you all to have a great experience.
Oh,
To,
they are some of the most fun paintings to do, because somebody said it earlier. They're like a mystery. They're kind of like a mystery, and when you're painting them, you know what you're making. You're up close and you know what you're making, and you're doing all those fine little brush strokes and stuff to create it. And we're up close and we're just adding dots. We don't know what we're doing, So it's a mystery for us until you're finished with like a duck or a bird. And then sometimes you step back, and then it's like, whoa, wow, where'd that come from? I didn't realize that that's what I just made, So that's what's so fun about them. And then the fact that they just turn out beautiful. I mean, they really turn out beautiful.
They do.
I mean, this would be my 7th one I've done now. Woohoo, right? But yeah, they're gorgeous.
Well, that means a lot to me, and it's always nice when your work is appreciated. I know, as you guys would relate to, it's hard when you put a lot of work into something and no one notices and no one cares, and then it means a lot to you when people do appreciate the work that you put in and all the time. And so you ladies are just wonderful people for that, and your group has been wonderful to me, and I appreciate all that.
Oh, well, we love it. And here's John. John over here says that you're his favorite artist. There you go.
Yeah, you're a lot of people's favorite artist.
Truly, yes.
Well, that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And I just always get at a loss for words with that, because it just means a lot that I'm able to share that, and that this brings value to someone, and the hard work that I put in. And so I'm glad. I appreciate you all sharing that with me, and I hope that my work continues to bring you guys enjoyment, and that it's
yes.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, you clearly have a gift.
Yes.
You have a gift. There's God-given talents and gifts that people have.
And your art and the availability for some people that otherwise wouldn't be able to get an original and have access to these diamond paintings. You have helped people, I mean, literally through hard times, grief, depression. For the time being, when they're doing their art, their diamond painting, they're forgetting what's troubling them, and it's the art that takes you to another place, a more peaceful place, and that's what your art does for us.
Wow. Well, I think I would have to give credit to God for that, and I think I think it's really what He's doing in us, in the ways that we're able to share things with people, what you guys do, and what He's gifted people in your group to do. Whenever we can add value to someone's life, I think that's speaking something to the meaning of life. I think bringing something meaningful to someone else's life, and you're able to just make someone's life better, or help them in some way. I just think it's very rewarding for us, to be able to do that. And so
Yeah.
I think whatever God gives you, use that to the best of your ability, is what I would say.
So as far as the emotional side, I have one story I'll share with you, and it is, oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of the painting. My mom did one. Somebody will know which one it is. I can't remember.
I remember, but I don't remember which.
I know. I can't remember the name. It's
so excited.
The covered bridge, the horse wagon coming out, the church.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow.
Could it be, is it the good life maybe, or good?
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes. The Sweet Life. Yes, Sue. It's the Sweet Life. Yes. It's that one.
Yeah. That's a beautiful one.
Yes. So she did that for one of our chuck-alongs. And she was playing three, thank you. And she was playing around with the horse that was coming out of that in front of the bridge, and she didn't like the way the horse looked. And so she tore it out, took the drills off. She had me come over and she's like, help me fix this horse. I don't like this or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So we played with it for a while. I thought I had it looking pretty good. And she wanted to put their last name on the top of that bridge, right? Mm-hmm. So I never helped her do that part. But then my mom had cancer. She battled for 2.5 years and passed away last June. And I went to her house, and we're kind of going through things and stuff like that. And I found that painting, and she had done it again. She had taken things off and whatnot. She'd taken the drills off that horse again a little bit, and the bridge was still blank above, the opening of the bridge. And so after my mom had passed away, I had that painting and kind of fixed it again, put things back in, and tried to do it justice the way that she'd wanted it. And instead of putting their last name, I put her first name above the bridge because it would fit better and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I kind of finished it up again. And she had a frame already purchased for that painting. And I put it in the frame and said that needed to go to her service, to her funeral, And it did. They got a nice stand for it, and they put it up there. She was really proud of it. She did some small little paintings, but she'd never done anything of that magnitude, that size. Mm-hmm. And she was so proud of it. And,
every time she posted in the group and people commented, she was excited. You can see from her words how excited she was. It was really cute.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, we had it there at her funeral service, and now it's back at their house, and it's in their family room, and it's all framed now and everything. And I just think that, she enjoyed it so much. It's something we shared together, and, it's stuff like that art can do. And it happened to be your art, so it was a special thing. It's quite special. So.
Wow. Well, that means so much to me that you would share that story. And I'm so sorry to hear about your mother and how that happened.
Yeah.
Mindy, you got everybody teary-eyed.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to go through, but that makes it all worthwhile to me, because to hear a story like that and, to know what it means to someone, or it's just something that can be a point of connection for you.
It is
her, it's maybe a bridge that we're able to bridge, hopefully with your mom closer and hear a deeper relationship with her. And I hope that was the case, but that's special. And that means a lot to me that you would share that with
and
me.
I know that I'm not the only one that's like that. I know that there's somebody else that is doing a painting. They're working on it together, and it's for a grandma that passed away. It was in memory of a grandma. So there's a lot of people out there that do things like that with these diamond paintings, mm-hmm. that they really have a deeper meaning than it's just beautiful artwork. Mm-hmm. There's real meaning and connection and thought, and it's deeper. It's just deeper.
Well, yeah, that does make it worthwhile to spend all the time on these and try to bring them to life and share them with others. And for you all to expand that and be able to share that with a friend or someone in your life,
Yeah.
That's what I really want to be able to make them available for, is for people to be able to. It's not always about, I mean, at some level you got to make a living, but on another level, you know, it's money is not really the end of the, it's not the end all be all. It's
Right.
about changing. It's about being able to be that connection point and something where someone can find meaning and see something deeper
Yeah.
than you can say with words, or then you can just hear in a song or something. So it's a special thing that has always drawn me to art, and I'm just happy that there's other people in the world who are able to engage in the art the way that I see it and the way that that I appreciate it. And so that means a lot to me, and I feel kindred spirits with you all who you know enjoy this type of work, and
Oh, yeah.
and just are able to experience it in whatever form that you can or you like to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if we weren't diamond painters, I mean, we could do puzzles too. I mean, I have several of the puzzles. I haven't done any of the puzzles, but even those, I mean, you can take the puzzles, you could, put the glue on the back of those and keep them together, frame those, and those
Yeah.
would be awesome too. So,
Heaven and Earth has the cross stitch charts, very intricate, large cross stitch charts that are Chuck Pinson.
nice.
Yeah, Heaven and Earth does some of mine, and then there's another company called Artisy.
Yes,
Artisy.
Artisy.
Artisy?
Yeah,
They're
Artecy.
and the woman who runs that, she's a really nice lady who is based in Australia, I believe, and she's done a wonderful job with putting that cross stitch stuff
Yours
together.
is cross stitch too.
And so she has several of mine that she sells. But yeah, whatever format works best for you. I know, I think Buffalo Games still does this, is for the puzzles, is they put a print inside the box, I believe. And
Oh,
so when you purchase the puzzle, there's a folded up. It's folded. It does have a crease in it, and it's not a large print or by any means. It's kind of a small print, but it's something that you can see the image bigger than it is on the front of the box. Now it's not as big as the puzzle. You get the puzzle done, and the puzzle's much larger.
yeah.
But if you wanted something that didn't have the lines, that is a nice feature that I liked about something their company did. So.
I'll have to open up some of my puzzles and see if I have a print in there.
Yeah, and if they stop doing that, I do apologize. I just know that they had done that for years, and I don't know if they still do.
I have a stack of puzzles out in my living room, and I'm like, I haven't opened them even. It's like I've just been collecting them, Yeah.
Well, you can save them up for next winter when hopefully you get warm weather now and you get outside and do them in the wintertime.
So do you tend to, do you paint by season? Like if it's winter, do you paint winter, or do you do anything like that? Like, or do you want to paint beachy stuff in the winter, or?
Well, that's a great question. I think I go in phases, but yeah, usually when it's so cold, it's cold. You're kind of getting tired of winter by January or so. I'm already painting. I'm starting to think about warm scenes. This whole spring I've been painting. I haven't painted anything that's got snow or anything in it. But now I was working on a winter scene in November because it had been, it hadn't really gotten that cold yet. So it's kind of when it's winter's coming, it's going to be charming to have a snow. It doesn't snow much here in Georgia, if at all. This year we didn't get any, but I sort of just go through the phases of when it's July and August, fall sounds pretty nice.
Right.
So it's kind of that's the fun thing about painting, is that you can kind of, where would I rather be right now, or where would I like to go? Where would I want to escape to? And work on painting that. And being that I work so often on or work so many hours on the same painting, then I'm sort of drawn into there. So a little bit it feels like you're there, I guess, even though
Yeah.
you're writing at home, in your room.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in the middle of our winter, and when we're in the middle of winter, I'm ready to look at beach scenes, so.
Right. I don't blame you.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Any other questions anybody else have? I'm trying to check over here the chat and see if there's any other questions. I'm not a cross stitcher, Molly, so I've never looked at Heaven and Earth Designs to see what's there. Right. So what are you working on right now? I mean, generally.
Well, I don't want to give too much away.
Winter, summer, spring, fall.
You guys maybe we'll see them if we can do this again sometime. But so I have, let's see, I'm just finished up. When I was at the scanner, I dropped some off that are going to be, one is going to take us to the continent of Africa. So it's going to be Africa themed.
Oh, wow.
Before.
Wow.
So that'll be something different. And then I wanted to try a garden scene. And so I'm going to have a garden scene that's coming. And
yes.
What was the other one?
Cool.
It's another kind of lighthouse that I haven't ever done before. This kind of a scene. I've done lighthouse before, but I haven't ever done one like this that has these kind of colors and a different sort of layout for it. So it'll be something hopefully I'll be able to share with you in the next time. It'll take a while for them to scan them, and sometimes we have to make sure the scan came out right and everything.
So those are finished.
Yeah, those are finished, and then I'm working on some, just sort of they go through phases in the process of just sort of editing. And do I like this? Do I want to put, do I want to sketch that in there? Do I want to take this out? And so I've got some ideas that are sort of not all the way
developed,
materialized. Yeah, so it's just like, okay. I'm thinking of, there's always, I like to stay within a lot of the themes that I've done before and then try something new once in a while. And so I don't want to give too much away about what they're going to be yet, because it's just so early on in the process and all that. But the ones that I'm just getting scanned now are will probably be out in a few more months' time.
That's
I think
cool.
is when we'll release them. So
cool.
You'll be able to see those when, different companies obviously release them at different times. So
Mary Lou wants a vegetable garden. You did one that had a vegetable garden. I had a horse in the garden too.
So I did. I did want to do one like that, and I did with it's called Sea Garden Cottage.
That's beautiful.
It has a vegetable garden with the sea in the background, and sort of I don't know if you would call it a shaker style house or a cottage by the sea, but more of the New England feel. I did one like that, and then there's an older one of mine called The Sweet Garden.
That's what I was thinking of.
And that one has a larger garden. It's got kind of cabbage growing along in rows, and it's got 3 horses. Yeah, so that one did have the horses in it.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is that one was with Dreamers Designs, and now Dreamers Designs, doesn't have you. And I keep thinking that now all of that Dreamers Designs material could be done by Diamond Art Club now. And I thought that they were going to do that, like start doing some of the Dreamer Designs ones now. But I haven't seen them actually do anything.
Someone asked that earlier.
That Dreamers Designs had originally.
Yeah, Diamond Art Club did ask me for those, and I sent them to them a few months ago, I think. And so I think those are in process. I don't know how long their process takes, but I think they're in the works, and I assume from just maybe what they would be thinking is they just want to give it some time in between the time that
Dreamer
Designs had those, and sort of let that settle out for maybe there's some folks who didn't see those, or maybe there's some people who now they would want those. And so I don't know, maybe it's something with the timing and
Could be, yeah.
Who knows?
Because I mean, there's a lot of beautiful images that Dreamers Designs had, and at the time, I didn't care for how Dreamers Designs rendered your work.
No,
I didn't like it. I bought that one, the garden one, and I saw other people do others, and I just didn't care for how those rendered. And so I've been really excited for Diamond Art Club to get some of those images that I didn't want to buy them from Dreamers Designs. I love Dreamers Designs as a company. They do a lot of great stuff now, but at the time I didn't care for those. And I want some of those to come to Diamond Art Club. So that's good to know that they've had them for a few months or whatnot. Maybe they're, starting to get around to some of those. That would be cool. So
yeah, well, I appreciate you mentioning that, because I didn't know that there was such a big difference between the renderings between Dreamers Designs and Diamond Art Club. But it helps me to feel I'm glad in a way that that Dreamers that I did some with Dreamers Designs, but the fact that Diamond Art Club is hopefully giving you guys a really great experience with what you're ended up with your final product. That's what matters to me the most. Is I want you all to end up with a product that you're the most proud of, and gives you the most enjoyment. And I know companies go through processes and improve things, and hopefully some of that will happen for them.
So I'm looking forward to them getting some of those. So here's a couple things for your little notebook. The redwoods, that would be cool, right? The redwoods.
Okay, like talking about like this tree.
Yeah, like the big redwood forest.
Sequoias and those type of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Right? And somebody else mentioned windmills. Windmills are cool.
Yeah, windmills. Are they talking about the windmills like in the Netherlands? Or are they talking about the windmills that you find on a farm that have I guess they're...
either one. I would say either one. The Holland windmills are cool. And then, of course, anytime you got a farm, you could put... Do you have some with windmills in them? The farm ones?
I believe there's a couple of farms that are more not some of my main work, but I do think some of the farms, I'm believing there's one that's kind of almost looks like Oklahoma plains called The Wind Takes You Back.
Oh,
and there is a windmill in that, and I think there might be one in another farm here or there.
Yeah.
But it's something I think I would like to incorporate some more of those in if I do more farm type scenes. Sometimes I'm torn between the logical side of my brain says, now if there's a big water supply right here, and I don't know, I plead ignorance on this. I don't know a lot about farms in terms of the workings of these things. Aren't the windmills, mainly related to the wells and bringing up the water?
Yeah.
So would they need that? And then, the artistic side of me is a lot of that is sometimes you can't be so rational and you can't be logical about bringing it all together and creating the scene that is the most aesthetic, for what you're trying to accomplish.
Right.
So, I'd like to incorporate more of that. Yeah, so anything that I can do with variety or anything else that you all would like to see, let me know, and I'll definitely jot that down. More ideas.
Oh, you gave Brookside Retreat to someone? That's a beautiful one. That turned out so nice. It's gorgeous. That's still, I don't know, that still takes, it's high on my list of my favorites for sure. Brookside Retreat is. Yeah, there's so many things to paint out there that are beautiful, right? It's got to be hard to decide what you're going to work on. Africa sounds interesting, though.
Yeah.
That's not in what I consider the Chuck Pinson,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a some of it's a hard decision on painting the themes that people have known me for, companies know me for, painting the themes that sort of are ones that I like and I know other people who have followed my work like, and then finding things that are also challenging and new and different and
Right.
I think are beautiful too. And so I try to do some of both. Is my goal is do some that branch out to new themes, and sometimes it's wait and see. I've had things that flop, and I thought it was going to be a great idea, and it didn't work. And I've had things that my wife said, "What are you doing? This is not a good idea," and people really liked it. And so um, she's usually right, though. I have to say, she's usually right on things. I happen to mention the time she wasn't, but she has usually got a good sense of what people will like. But yeah, I think it was the one I did is called Share the Outdoors. And I don't know if that's a diamond.
Oh,
Share
it
the
is.
Outdoors. It's the one.
It is.
It is.
With a lot of animals.
Oh,
and
yeah.
My wife saw the raccoons going in the tent, and she saw the different
moose
kind of invading the campsite. And
Yeah.
I think to her it was
Man
more of
fishing next
a
to the bear.
nightmare. This was not a pretty sight. This was a nightmare. So, to me, it was, bringing out the humor of, incorporating humor into the painting to a degree. And,
Is the moose behind the truck or in the back of the truck?
I was picturing it being behind the truck. In this
Okay. It's always been a question.
Yeah. People always ask that. They're like, is that moose in the truck? And I'm like, no. Is it a moose? It's an elk, isn't it? It's an elk.
Maybe it's an elk. I don't have it in front of me. I don't have. Yeah, that might be an elk.
Yeah, he's an elk.
I have the original upstairs.
The funniest part about that painting, you were talking about the raccoons, right?
Yes.
And those raccoons, they're like drinking beer or something. What are they doing? Are the raccoons like? There's some bottles up there, and it's like, what were they doing?
To be fair, we've had a couple of run-ins with raccoons. I don't know if any of y'all have, but
I have them living inside my house.
Well, when I went camping when I was a kid, my dad took me camping one time, and the raccoon got into the trash can right outside of the tent and was just making all sorts of racket. But me and my wife went to Yosemite and we camped during March. We thought wouldn't this be a wonderful idea to camp in March? Anyway, it got down to like 18 degrees one night. It was pretty challenging. But anyway, we were sort of novice campers at that point in our life, and we didn't realize it was going to get dark so early at that time. And we were fixing food, and my wife had just a stack of tortillas in her hand. We weren't thinking of making something easy, I guess. Anyway, we were making these fajitas. She had a stack of tortillas by the picnic table. This raccoon ran up, jumped on the picnic table, and snatched them with its mouth. Just snatched them straight out of her hand. Just right out of her hand and took off. So I took off chasing the thing, and I went back to its burrow, and we wanted to get something to get it out. Well, yes. The next night, we felt pretty stupid because the campers next to us had warned us. These raccoons are really audacious, and they'll come after you. And we're like, they don't know what they're talking about. We found out the hard way. And then the next night, we see all these college kids coming in, and they start setting up their camp, and just they got food everywhere, and it's getting dark, and we just say, well, looks like the raccoon has his eye on somebody else tonight. So sure enough, they were there chasing him all night, trying to dig him out of his hole after he had raided their camp. So anyways, that's a long story to say raccoons, when you have an experience with them, then it makes it more fun to put them in a painting and know
I get it. I've had several encounters with raccoons. Anyhow. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that. It is always so much fun to see. And I love seeing stuff that we haven't seen before,
Yep.
Like I go and I stalk your site and I'll look at Fine Art America. And sometimes they'll have stuff. Fine Art America will have stuff listed on their site before you do, so I'll look there and I'm like, oh, look at that one,
Yeah.
But it's always fun to see the stuff that we haven't seen anywhere before, like those last two. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I try to save those up for you a little bit, and
Save them up for us.
sometimes they do get out before the time that our interview goes along.
Yeah.
We're in the chat, so they get out there a little bit. But it's just a when I have some new ones, I'll be glad to come back and
that is awesome
with you and
let me know. Just let me know when you want to. Yeah.
Yes, this is great. Thank you for sharing your time with us and sharing those beautiful paintings.
Yeah.
Mindy, I'm sending you the spreadsheet.
Maritza, you don't leave me. Don't leave me in this event alone.
I want to participate.
Maybe we'll just buy you one, Maritza, for all your work. We'll get you one.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, thank you.
Everyone in the chat is saying thank you, Chuck. They're all thanking you for spending time with us.
Thank you to all of you, and I appreciate you so much more than I can say and more than you know. But I appreciate you taking an interest in my art and
I love it
and enjoying it and
we might have sent some people off to buy coffee mugs or something.
Well,
Joanna bought them all. I think she said she bought a bunch.
What?
Yeah.
Joanna bought coffee mugs already.
Even if you don't buy anything,
that's fun.
It still means a lot to me just that you enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's what means the most to just when you pour your heart into something and you pour your blood and sweat and tears into what you do and have folks like you who really appreciate it. I think that's one of the biggest blessings in the world. And so many people don't get to experience that for the work that they do. And they work really hard. I know many people work really hard at what they do and they don't get that. And just to receive that from you all is just a blessing to me. You all are a blessing to me. And so I appreciate
we all love you. We all love you.
Yes.
Love your work. I think I need to go shop and get some notebooks. I'm after.
Give our regards to your family.
Yes. Tell everybody hello. And
I sure will.
Your daughter's got to be growing up now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she's 7.5 right now. So
that's a fun age.
All kinds of things. And I'm hopefully this coming up here pretty soon, maybe during spring break, we'll go up to the mountains and maybe I want to take her. I got an inflatable kayak, so I want to go down a river and see what we can find.
That'll be fun.
And go do a little hiking up there. But yeah, it's fun to teach a new
sketchbooks with you when you go places to sketch things, or you just keep it on your head?
I do a little bit, but for the most part, nowadays I snap a picture of what I like. I want to enjoy the time that I'm out there, and so I'm more looking for the next thing rather than spending a lot of time sitting there sketching it.
Yeah.
I take a photo because to me, if I take a photo, it's something I can use later, and I don't know what I'm going to end up wanting to do. Well, there's always this sense that maybe around the next corner, around the, seeing the next side of the lake or something is going to be better than the one that you just saw. So you never know. You never know until you kind of get back home and say, okay, this is feeding into it, but it's all inspiration.
Yeah. I felt like that when we went down to like the canyons and stuff in Utah. It was like that rock formation's awesome, but then look at that one, and it was like there's so many of them.
Okay, well, speaking of Utah, that's on my wife's bucket list. She's been wanting to travel a lot.
Oh, you should go.
She bought a book about Utah, and we were supposed to plan the trip to go to Utah, and it has not materialized yet. But we want to go to the national parks. And, and, see all that stuff.
It was awesome. It's really cool. It's like a different world. It's so awesome. It's nice. You'd be very inspired there. Yeah.
I always wonder. Let me ask. I always wonder about the universal appeal of something like Utah. The desert has sort of its own unique appeal and its own beauty, but I always wonder about painting it because it's so specific. If you know what I mean, specific to a very near a region there. So
Yeah.
I kind of wonder. I haven't really ever done a desert, so
I think it would be cool. It's beautiful. Go to Utah. You'll want to paint Utah when you go. You will.
I'll probably add a few more trees under there, I guess.
Some cactus. So.
Yeah. Maybe the cactus will be
inspiring. Yeah, it'll be cool. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to let everybody go now, and we appreciate it so much. And just keep doing what you're doing. It's wonderful.
Yes. Absolutely. So, well, you all do the same, and I hope you keep going with your show and with your group, and y'all keep enjoying each other and
definitely
creating your diamond art paintings and enjoying those. So I'm glad we were able to share this time together, and I hope we're able to see each other.
Yes, I hope so too. Yeah, just whenever you've got some more stuff you want to show, just let me know.
Well, I wish I was faster at getting all this stuff. I put so much into each one, and that's sort of why I have to sort of, keep them on a
quality versus
timeline, I guess you say.
Quality versus quantity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's why they turn out the way they do.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, good night. And talking to you again. So thank you so much.
All right. Good night to y'all.
Good night, everybody.